326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, Refugee Camp presents
For all relationships, for regrets, for disagreements, for breaking up and making up, for all those out there jonesing for love, it's Love Jones right here, right now on Global 99.5. Good morning, and I say good morning again on a money-making Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend and all is well. Welcome to another edition of Love Jones right here on Global 99.5 FM. This is, of course, the very best mix of R&B music, home with Steve Harvey Morning Show. And before I do anything, let's go ahead and say good morning to our Facebook viewers, as well as those that will view the video a little bit later on Global's website, as well as Love Jones Crew, our Facebook page. Become a friend so that you can continue in the conversation. 431-8497 is your text, as well as WhatsApp number. You may also use the alternative of 812-1787, and you may call in live at 326-0272. Email us at verycoolcandy@yahoo or lovejonescrew@gmail. Good morning, Twix brethren. How are you this morning? How was the weekend? Magic Mike, Brother D, how you guys doing?
I was gonna say caramel fine, but when you put in that Magic Mike, I forget about the caramel. Are we still at Twix Brothers?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Why change a good thing?
Right, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Use the chocolate caramel.
Yeah.
And use the crunch.
Bang! You see how it works. You see what's good. Boy, it's a plethora of stuff that I was hoping that we could cover today, but something popped off in our chatter group over the weekend, and I think because it lit such fire, I don't think we had an opportunity to really get into a lot of the issues that should have been addressed by the initial story. I think the act in which that happened in the Facebook post, I think that primarily took over. Right? Yeah. D lit a match at the end. I was like,
I just like to watch. I don't really like to.
Yeah, because I
had to, anyway, that's.
No, I touched on, when I say touched, I read some of them.
Yeah.
And I listened to what you had to say. I think you probably put the last post in there.
And I left it just like that.
Yeah.
Because, I think one of the respondents to it, I think it was disrespectful and it was insensitive to the issue. Whether it was done intentionally or not, I think
that you can't joke about stuff like that.
Not like that. Because you're not aware of a lot of the experiences that people have had, so
especially
I think you have to be
daughters.
careful. Yeah. Remember what happened to the live?
I was just going to say, we had the gathering.
Remember we had the gathering and dude came out. Listen, I've never seen Mike angry, right? But like in the cartoon where like steam and fire comes out the my whole disposition changed when that brother said what he said.
I think because me, Corey, and there was another guy.
All of you have daughters,
right? But all of us look at Mike, especially because we know, like Mike being
he changed the color of his shirt,
right?
And his face were the same
Mike was
color.
Like,
that was
and I think fire. Me and Corey got the position like, okay, Mike.
If he jumps up, you have to grab him from the table, and someone got to hold him while I die. Right. So that was ridiculous. But let's put it out there in respect of all parties that were mentioned in the post. But I'm interested to know what the listening public has to say about the parties, their response thereof, and the situation itself.
Pat just say I was there.
Of course, yes, I remember. Pat was like, as I say, right, because y'all trying to get the Carmel brothers lifted tonight. All right, so it says real life questions. This is something that came in. It says, I want to post this. Now, this may sound bad, but honestly, emotionally, it's a lot for me to deal with. I'm going to change some of the verbiage just to be respectful. Me and my lady were together a little over the 2-year period, and we had our usual ups and downs of any relationship. There was an incident, very terrible one, that happened to us while we were abroad. I won't go into it because it's still under investigation and still being looked at. But to make a very long story short, she and I were held up at gunpoint. We were robbed, and some of the men felt her up, and some other things happened. I could not do anything for fear of my life. Not going into it any further, that is the base of the incident. It happened about 7 or 8 months ago, and ever since then, sex has been non-existent. She has been very distant, and I know this may sound selfish, but it's not like the incident didn't happen to me as well, minus the part about being felt up in that kind of way. I try with her, and I try to get her to talk, and I've even tried to get her to go to a counselor to talk about it. She is completely shut down, and it's been more than 7 months. I had to suck it up and move on, but it seems as if she's stuck in the past. I mean, it's like, get over it already, and let's get back to living. I feel because she's grown up very sheltered and never having to deal with the real world and the events thereof. She went to a private school all her life, and me, I've gone to a government school. I feel this is one of the reasons why she can't just brush the little incident off. I still love her, but a man needs, and he has needs. So I've kind of been sexing one of my quote unquote, now I don't want to use this word, but
I know what he say.
I know what he said, but the word is cutter.
Yes.
Cutter, yes.
Yes,
he put an ER. I thought it went with an A, but
it's an A. It's an A.
He decided to use proper English. He said cutter.
We appreciate that.
Yes, and we appreciate that. He said, I've been kind of sleeping with one of my cutter friends. She knows what time it is. She knows it's not a relationship kind of thing. It's just sex. My lady and I she doesn't know, but I feel I can't be with Pat right now. I got to get to the end of it. But I feel that she doesn't care anyway. I feel justified because she is shutting me out, and this is kind of pushing me away from her. I just want some feedback on how to deal with this, or should I just leave all of this drama behind? Okay, now, this, to say the least, now, there was a female in the group that shall remain nameless, posted it, and just said, okay, I got this story from Facebook, and I'm interested to know where the men sat on it. That was what she was about. She was like, I'm interested to know what the men in the group have to say about it, and what's your opinion? Do you see where he's coming from? Whatever, let's explore the dynamics of it. A lot of the men were kind of silent at first, but I guess being a Sunday, everybody was doing their thing. A lot chimed in after the fact, but the ladies got on board. So without bringing any of the stuff that came from group, I'm interested to know where people sit with it. And let's start with the parties that are present. I don't think you guys were present when the initial conversation began.
No.
So let's explore the dynamics of his position and then the possibilities of hers, but let's explore it from the male perspective first and foremost, if we could. So everyone gets the gist of the situation, right? Mm-hmm. As to how it happened. What say you? Who'll go first?
When you say you want opposition, I mean, what would I do in that situation? How do I feel about the situation?
I guess all of the above. I guess if you were in the situation that happened thereafter, and are you in agreement with what he is saying, the position that he's coming from, as far as him being honest about the way he feels, him feeling justified in some of his actions? What do you think? What do you feel in reference to all of those things?
Wow.
I know it's a lot.
Boy, if that was to happen with me, if I was with my lady,
mm-hmm.
Wow. And I can't do nothing about it?
No. Nothing.
Wow. That would play on my mind as well. That would definitely play on my mind. I can't see myself going out there and because I'd probably need psychological help as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Me and her. You know what I'm saying? And I can't see myself going out with a cut up.
Right.
You know.
But his thing is, that's what he said. He said that he loves his lady. That's his position. He said, but a man has needs, and he says that as far as she's concerned, she's aware that this isn't a relationship that he's pursuing. He's not interested in being involved with her in that way. It's just his way of fulfilling the sex that is missing from his relationship. I mean, he may not have said it in the best language.
Yeah, but that's basically what he said.
But that's basically what he's saying, regardless of how he phrased it. Obviously, reading it, some people are going to take offense to the language that was used, but at the end of the day, no matter how you pretty it up, it still is what it is. Yeah. Whether you say it's a friend of mine on the side I'm sleeping with, it's a sex buddy, whatever the connotations and the terms are that you use, it still is. He's outside of his relationship, and in his mind, he said he feels justified because she's not fulfilling the sex, whatever her position is, whatever her mental status is that keeps her from fulfilling the sexual needs that are in the relationship. He's saying he has needs, and if she isn't unwilling to do so, he's seeking it elsewhere while still trying to maintain a relationship with her.
He's not trying to maintain a relationship with her. Because the reality of it is, if that was your wife, then you would do the exact same thing. And that's being a selfish, inconsiderate, I want to say something, but I'm on the radio. At the end of the day, if that's a woman that he loves and that happens, experience the same thing, but she experienced it on a different level. So the sexual assault part of it that she experienced is way more dramatic than fellas pulling a gun on you and robbing y'all. And you being unable to do anything about it, that is a strike to your ego. But her experience and what she experienced is a strike to her physical, mental, emotional, sexual entirety. So if you genuinely loved her, then what you should be doing is going through the motions with her, whether it's just being there for her to talk to, whether it's just consoling her and letting her know that, hey, you know, whatever, if it's going through counseling with her, if it's whatever, if she wants to end the relationship, then accept that.
Right.
But you going out there and sleeping with someone else and saying, oh, well, I did it because I have needs, they make porn for that. You could fulfill your own needs by yourself if it's that serious.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. I think that was a part of it, and that's what sparked a lot of the issue within Chatter. His position is this. Get what you're saying, because remember, from Jump, he said this probably is selfish, but I'm trying to be honest. His thing was this. Number one, it's been 7 months since the initial incident, right? And secondly, he is saying that it was just a matter of being felt up. This is his position, and one or two of the other men had that to say. Okay, if it's just a matter of fact of being felt up, it's not as if the sexual assault went to the extremes that we know it could have gone to.
But remember,
and his thing is, if it was just being felt up, why is it having such an impact on her to the fact where she's withdrawn
and she's shut down?
From him, and she's shut down.
Because remember, he also said that she grew up
sheltered.
Thank you. So due to the fact that she grew up sheltered, anything that is out of the norm is traumatizing.
Indeed.
The persons who grew up a little bit less sheltered
saw some of this happening within their neighborhoods.
The girls in the government school, they get treated up on a regular basis and all the rest. That's the truth. I go on the government school.
I wasn't ready for that one.
No, that came completely way out of line.
I went to government schools. I know what used to happen in them schools.
So it don't happen in private schools?
Listen what I said.
It does.
Listen what I said. But they ain't sheltered. See, he said she was sheltered.
I get your point.
Right. So with her being sheltered, it was a lot that she probably did not experience. Dad was probably, the Cosby daddy, and mommy was not the Cosby.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Right. Okay.
I get where you're coming from. Yeah, we don't want to use Bill.
Right. So, but mom was probably the Miss Huxtable then.
Yeah.
And she had that fairy tale existence.
I think a lot of things that wasn't considered. Sorry to interrupt.
That's fine.
Perhaps there's something that happened to her prior to.
I was going to get to that.
And this could have flicked a switch.
Right.
There could have been something that existed prior to that she wasn't ready to deal with, or had dealt with, or had buried.
I thought she had
dealt with, and this brought it back to the forefront.
And it was really just it was probably something that was very, very, very close to exactly what happened.
Unfortunately, I think a part of what he may not have considered was this, and I know this is probably going to cause an issue, but I think it's something that has to be considered. I think on a logistical sense, most people can understand it's a matter of life or death. One wrong move, you say the wrong thing.
That's it.
You could have been shot, and that could have been lives lost.
Mhm.
The thing with that is, I think, unreasonable as they may be, the expectations as to a woman and a man, him being
The man.
the man,
She
I wasn't
claimed-
going to say the man, but I was going to say, I guess you're just in a situation where most people think of the men that they are in relationships with
As their protector.
as their protector.
Yeah.
And I understand, don't get me wrong, it makes nor made whatever make any sense for him to put his life on the line. A woman that loves a man would be able to understand that, the value of the life in reference to what's going on. But nonetheless, when you're thinking emotionally, you're looking at
Despite
it
what?
sideways.
Miss.
I'm not saying despite it. I'm just saying what
Hey.
may be going on in her mind. She understands on an intellectual level that there's nothing that he could have done that would not have resulted in it being far worse than what happened. But the emotional side of her looking at him like,
Really
he
do
just
it?
kind of sat there.
What? Okay.
I understand. Do you
What?
get where I'm coming from?
No.
I understand that it's nothing he
No,
could
I
have
understand,
done.
but you don't need to say it.
But an emotional, I gotta say it because
No, Shame.
it's a portion of the
If-
story.
A gun in the picture, right?
Guns.
Yeah, several, I think.
Several.
Mhm. I'm
Gotcha.
saying
No.
again,
What a gun?
we tend.
I don't think so.
I doubt that.
I don't think so.
We
color's the gun?
tend.
Gunmetal gun.
I for y'all today, seriously. What I'm saying is we tend to separate
Candy.
intellect from emotional.
Candy.
We should not.
Candy.
Obviously, anyone in their right thinking mind knows
Candy.
that if he wanted to live and if he
Do as he was
going to
told.
life, do as what it's told.
Let me ask you a question. I know this could sound,
I'm just saying on
this
an
could sound
emotional
bad,
level.
right? This could sound terrible, right?
Okay, let me give you an example.
Yes, please do.
Let me give you an example, right? Okay, here it is. You riding, and I don't want people to think I'm trying to be funny. I'm just trying to draw a reference from a situation. Let's say you love your animal, your dog, or right, and your dog is in the car with you, window down. You're riding over the highway. Y'all stop to a stoplight, and there are other cars coming from the other direction. The dog jumps from the window and runs into the line of traffic, right? Now, intellectually, it makes no sense for you also to now run into the line of traffic
Yeah.
because then that's you as well as the dog being hit.
Uh-huh.
On an emotional level,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
The first thing within you may say, sprint, I don't like my hero.
Me and Meg on the same page.
What I'm saying
All
is
dogs
the
go to
first
heaven.
emotional part of you is going to say dash after
Not
or
me.
try to stop traffic
No,
from hitting
ma'am.
the animal.
No, ma'am. The devil is a liar.
Do y'all understand where I'm coming
No.
understand.
Fido couldn't get it.
No.
from?
Fido couldn't.
Man, I can't deal with y'all.
Fido,
I need
listen to me.
need some other
Listen to
feedback.
me.
I can't.
Fido couldn't get it.
But
I'm
do you
so sorry.
understand? I get
that,
where
right,
y'all
but
I
don't
get
use
what
the
y'all are
dog, though.
saying.
Don't use the dog. Like,
I
say
don't
my
know
daughter
what
run the
else.
traffic or something.
Right, that's completely
No,
different.
not the dog.
If my daughter ran the track, but he might.
I go on.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, the
Clean, straight-
I didn't want to use anybody's kids because that's a
No,
personal
that's what
thing.
you have to-
Okay, fine.
The dog.
Let's just say it is your child's. Some people love animals.
No,
their own,
I
but
know, right? But
okay, so it is your daughter.
I get it.
I gotta go.
Logistically, you're going to be hit by traffic, and maybe the both of you will come to your demise.
But I can try
But
to save her.
on an emotional level, and the fact that you love her, regardless of the risk to your life, you're going to dash into traffic
Yes.
to save
Yes.
her. Do you understand? And so that's what I'm saying. I think maybe
But-
her mind, it's different. It's different. But what I'm saying is, I'm just trying to get you to understand on an emotional level where she may have been after the fact.
Hold on.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me just say, you run into traffic. There's a possibility because you don't think you could die.
Okay,
You're
let's-
thinking,
If
Yeah.
I get that
But that-
fast enough.
put that gun there.
Yeah.
It-
You know, come out from that. And you
Again,
gotta wait
there
on-
could be more
Yeah,
to the story. Suppose it was something
Hold
as
on,
if he
let me-
was
let me-
flashing
let me
jewelry or
watch
whatever
this.
in a club. It could be extenuating circumstances why she may be blaming him for something.
Watch this. I read an article online where this burglar broke into the house and was robbing the house. He had the father, the mother, and he took the child, and he basically holding the child hostage. And in not an attempt, but the mother said to him, "Look, let my baby go, and I will perform
whatever's
oral
necessary."
on you.
Yeah.
So he probably thought she was playing, so he's like, "Well, do it," and she did in front of her husband.
Oh, I remember this.
In front of her husband, and she was so good, according to the husband's report. Yeah, like he got the burglar. He got into what was happening, and
I remember the husband.
And the husband was able to overpower him or whatever.
Very upset after the fact.
The husband was upset. He's like, she never performed like that on me. So we can have to have a conversation about that. He said, but I understand what she did because at that point it was the life of our child. So I understand that. That a lot of people, when I read it, I was like, well, she said, like it was like
it
okay,
is what it is.
Right. In the incident, what he's saying, I understand kind of what he's saying because it was only being groped or whatever the case is in his mind.
And see, that was what it is.
Right.
According to a lot of the ladies, it was making light of it by saying it was just a little feel. One of the men went so far as to say,
we ain't going into that, man.
That can happen to you.
Having a headache.
Not that. I'm not going to say that part of it. But one of the gentlemen actually said, hey, being felt up, that happens to you out of Junkanoo.
Yeah,
Dino, big deal.
Anyway, like I was back to the point we was trying to make.
I don't know if I could deal with something like that. Someone I love that much.
But you have no choice because
I know,
with your life being on the line, most persons will say, you know what, Bill, at least we survived.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, for her, it could have brought back something
now
else.
that you get past that point of survival,
how do you move forward?
Now, how do you move forward? And I think that's the issue.
As a couple, right?
Right. And even as individuals, I'm assuming that it would be very difficult to get past it. On his level, it's like, wow. And like I said, we don't know the extenuating. Let's just say he was mouthing off to some guys at a club that they went to.
Could have been.
There could have been other things why she's looking at him sideways. Like, you brought this on us. Because you flashing jewelry, you flashing money, you mouthed off them, tell us they followed us, and this is what happened. We don't know. It could be something more in depth.
Just a random,
like I said, the fish man ain't gonna call his own fish thing.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you never know, and this is only one side, and that's why we could only really deal with the facts as we know them, and we could only guess as to the rest of the possibilities of what it could have been.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, the fact still remains that she has withdrawn. But who's to say how long it takes to heal from any kind of situation?
And that's why I said he should just, bear with it. I mean, as difficult as it may be, because
I can't answer. I can't say bear with it, or I can't say.
Because the thing is, he's saying, hey, I've told her, let's go to a counselor. So in his mind, I've done all that I can do.
Then if that's how you feel, and you feel as though she isn't moving forward fast enough, quote unquote, for you, then leave. But don't say, oh, I love her and I'm gonna stay here, but I can have to cut her because I need what I need.
I think sometimes we put ourselves in situations, or we stay in situations because how other people see it. Like, for instance,
no, that's the truth.
I'm telling you, because in his mind, wow, they're gonna look at him like, okay, so y'all went through this thing together. Now she's going through an emotional time, and you just dip on her. Like, maybe that's how he may see himself, that he's abandoning her. So in a way, I'm not abandoning her. I'm staying, but I'm still doing these things on the side. But I'm still being a real type dude by hanging in here. It don't make sense, but unfortunately, some people just think the way that they think. And so in his mind, I'm still here though. I'm still hanging in. I'm still sticking it in. Yeah, getting my needs met on the side, but I'm still here. And if you decide to pull up your bootstraps and you decide to re-engage in this relationship, then we could go back to what we need to do, and we could build on our relationship.
So in doing that, when you found out that you have an STD because of the cutter,
and how do you explain that?
Yeah, then what? Then it's another debacle that you'll have to face.
That's another level.
Yeah.
No, but that just it's hard to even give advice on something like that, because will she ever?
Right.
I get it, but it's a situation of life and death. But we've talked about instances. Do you remember the gent that wrote in that was saying that his wife was dying from cancer? Do you remember that?
I remember.
He said his wife was, I don't know if he was here. He said his wife was dying from cancer. He said that he just has never experienced this kind of emotional he just felt empty and lost. He didn't know how to be there in the way that she needed, but he was doing all that he could. He knew in not too long that more than likely he would lose her. And so in order to try and keep himself together, he reached out to a support group for people that were going to lose people, or people that were taking care of people that were suffering from terminal illnesses and so forth. And he said, getting to talk to a lot of people, he started talking with this one lady whose husband had not too long ago died as well, from brain cancer or something to that effect. And through them talking and hanging out and spending time, they had become a lot closer than they should have. And at some point, he said he made the mistake of them becoming intimate. He's saying now the guilt was eating him alive. At the same token, he said he'd never felt this life in such a long time, because I think his wife had ovarian or something to that effect, where sex was non-existent for quite some time in their relationship because of all the stuff that she was going through. So this tapped into the things that he needed emotionally as well as physically. And he said, yeah, everyone's going to call me a bastard. Everyone's going to speak negative of me, but this is real life and it has happened. And I'm trying to be what everyone needs me to be, especially her. I can't leave my wife in this kind of situation. I've loved this woman for a long time, but I'm still only just a man. You know what I mean? And so I think a lot of times, depending on the situation, our level of understanding and what we're willing to give people as to what they experience emotionally is different. And I think in this situation, I'm not saying he's handling it correct by no measure, but I think we have to understand that not everybody is at the same level of growth emotionally than other people. I'm certain that who's to say that he isn't going through his own set of emotional trauma and he don't know how to deal with. Right. And a lot of times people go towards two things, either anger or fulfillment of physical sex.
True.
It's distraction for some people. And so maybe this is a way. I can't handle what old girl got going on right now. I barely making it through my own problem and waking up through the night with
cold sweats and whatever.
Cold sweats and picturing gun and face and in my mouth.
Waking up through the night, can't sleep.
Can't sleep because I keep thinking about it. I don't go to places I used to go because now this has changed me. And so if you're having issues dealing with it on your own accord, how are you then equipped to help somebody else go through their own?
That's very true.
I think a lot of times we just think about this old stinking dog talking about he get cut on the side, but why? I always say try to go a little bit deeper to find out why people do the things that they do and what puts them in the position and the capacities in which they are able to deal with things in reference to what other people deal with. I think
that is it, but I think too a lot of times when it comes to stuff like this, people look at who is more quote unquote the victim. Yeah. And they always at the moment. Right. They always have more sympathy, empathy, more compassion for that person. Whereas the other person who was there is like, okay, well, you was there and you didn't go through it and it didn't affect you as much. But listening to what you said just now is like, you don't know how much it affected him. You know how much it rattled him, because like Mike said, a lot of men would have an issue just knowing that you couldn't do anything. That would to see my wife or my girlfriend, the woman that I've loved, the mother of my children.
You now feel less than.
Right. And you want to, like every fiber in you is like attack. But the logistical mind is like, boss.
You gotta think with this and not with your heart.
You gotta be here. You gotta be here for her afterwards. So let it happen.
But you don't think you'll like sometimes after you go through it, you'll be like, maybe there was something I could have done.
Yeah.
You ever watch Crash?
Yeah. Yeah.
You watched Crash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watched Crash before?
Terrence
Howard. Yeah. And
that's what eats you.
Because remember when
after the fact, after that danger isn't right upon you, and then that's been removed, then you're like, boy, but if I did this and I might have been able to do that.
But in Crash, a very similar incident happened where they were pulled over by a white police.
His wife was white, right?
And his wife was mixed.
Yeah.
And he was mixed. Both of them were.
Well, he was black, but his wife was
mixed.
Asian
No, his wife in that movie was Tandy Newton.
Right.
She's mixed.
She's mixed.
Like Latino mixed.
No, black and white mixed. Same thing as him.
Skin, yeah.
Okay.
And they, of course, that don't count in the US. If you ain't straight white, then you black. And they were like, oh, so y'all doing this in the car and blah 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 blah. And the officer, I can't remember who played him because the other officer was played by Ryan Phillippe. The other officer searched her down, and then he slid his hands up her skirt.
And he did some inappropriate things.
Right. And Terrence is standing there, and she's the same thing. She's looking at him like,
do something. Say something.
Right. And he's looking at her like,
defend me. What do you want me to do?
Right, like, what? These are police officers.
They're going to believe them over me. And if they shoot me, then you're really out by yourself.
And when everything happened, when they went home, she went off.
The relationship broke down.
Everything was done, and coincidentally, she got in an accident. And who was the officer who had to help her out of the car? Same officer who assaulted her. And Terrence ended up in a situation where he was, I think, in a chase or something, and he ended up pulling a gun on somebody. He pulled a gun on the guy who tried to rob him. And Ryan ended up being in patrol with him. And Ryan was like, "Oh, gee, like really?"
Yeah, everything intersected.
Right, and then he was like, when he talked to the officer, his senior officer was on things like, "Look, let me handle this." The man's like, "Well, this better be blood related," because he's like, "Let me deal with it." And he asked me, "Say, you trying to die or something? Like, what's going on with you?"
No, I just saw the movie.
And it's like, as much as people would say, "Well, that is irrelevant," when you look at how something like that, standing there as a man watching your wife or your girlfriend be sexually abused by someone and you are powerless to help them.
I think maybe in his mind, that's why he said only felt up, because the less you make of it, the more light you make of the situation, the easier it becomes to deal with. Because if you think of it as something something heavier that happened, then you feel greater sense of accountability.
And thinking about it, it may have been actually something similar to what happened in the movie, where she was maybe not only felt up, but she was,
I can't imagine.
It's just a tough situation.
I can't imagine a woman going through that. Even a man.
I can't imagine a couple going through that.
If I get pulled over, police
and
officer,
that was one of the questions that I posed.
And a female police officer wrote me.
I think that's a little bit. Let's just say it was a male officer, though. That changes things. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. See? You see how his face changed when I said that? That completely changed the game.
But I wasn't going there.
Yeah, but I did. I had to. Because I think you have to approach the situation the way that it would be most impactful. Yep. So for a female officer to feel you up, to most men, that's no big deal. But if a male officer, exactly. But if a male officer now, right. But if a male officer now puts you in a sexually compromising position, now it changes things. Yeah, and so if you switch the situation, had this been a female on here talking about, and we was out, and these bunch of dudes was all over him and assaulted him, but it's been 7 months, get over it. That's why I'm sleeping with this dude on the side. Man would have been all up in arms talking about what a no good, filthy so-and-so this woman is. Okay. Of course, and plenty other things. Polytrism. She would have 2 chapters.
Would have been the best
thing that they would have said about her. Why not just get over it? But that's a hit to your ego. I gotta go there. That's a hit to your masculinity.
We talk about that after the show.
That's a hit to your masculinity and all things thereof.
Yeah, because
no one would have said it was just feeling up, no biggie. Get over it.
When you said all the color gone out of my face.
Completely drained. Right. And so we have to when we put ourselves in people's situation, you have to really go there as how it would be most impactful to you. So although the way he said it and how he said it and how he went about it, I don't think any of us agree with it. But I think to take a step back and to see how he was ill-affected by the situation.
Because a lot of people they
wouldn't. It's just, wow, that's what you do? You didn't put yourself in her shoes. You're selfish. You're insensitive.
Yourself in harm's way. You should have protected her.
Right. It's a lot of things that would be said, but who's to say what any of us would do being put in any situation or circumstance?
See, and this ain't the movies. It ain't like if he go to life here. Right. If he go to attack one of them, they can pull a gun and say, "Hey, back up." No.
Shoot first and think later. We don't have the kind of appreciation for human life that we used to.
They were talking about a basketball player. I was watching something about a basketball player. He plays for the Pistons, I think. And his uncle got killed because the guy thought he was someone else, and they showed the snippet of it, but they got caught on film, and the guy is there with the gun. The barrel of the gun is like 6 inches long. It's like a Magnum, 357 Magnum. So that's a powerful gun, and he is like the distance between me and the board. The guy is there, and he's talking to him, and the guy is basically telling him, "Look, that's not me. I'm not him." And the guy took like one step and walked off, turned back, and you see the gun jump, and he belts in, and then he breaks off running. They kill you, they shoot you for
just a
anything. And so, like you say, him thinking about all of these things, because of course we all know about the reports of the gun violence and everything. So you think about all these things, but you're the animal thing in you is like, but you got to protect her, and it's like, but I can't. And you're battling between, like you say, emotion and logic.
But if he had moved, the consideration isn't just that he would have been shot. Right. She may have been. Now you live with that. You caused this.
And then if he was shot and died, and she was living, what would happen to
dynamics.
Her? Everyone would say, "Oh, why she let him? She shouldn't have let him do that. She should have said."
It just is a difficult situation, but I was just interested. Where people would come from as to the way that we see things and we accept things as to other human beings and their positions.
A lot of times we don't think about the human beings when it pertains to us.
We, and I get it, and I can understand maybe not being in that exact position that she's been in either. But I think we've all been in situations where, it was either or. And then we had to deal with the repercussions after the fact. So her being in it serves her no good, regardless of what he's going to do or what his actions are going to be after the fact. It serves her no good to press pause on time. The healing process has to begin.
And it's only going to begin when she.
And it only can begin with her. As many times as we would love to see people that we're with do better, feel better, heal for the good of them as well as our relationship, nobody's going to do different and be different or change unless they want to.
All right. I believe that.
Believe it. Unless they want to.
They don't want to.
It's not going to happen. I don't care how invested you are. I don't care how much you love them and how much you want to be changed and how much different you want it to be. No one is going to do different unless they want to. And don't take it in your mind to say that means that you don't love me enough to change. You don't love me enough to be different. Sometimes people just aren't ready to do so.
Or I don't see a need to.
Or I don't see a need to.
So until I see that need to, then
I won't.
Like realistically.
Now, if you take that to mean that I don't love you or I'm not compromising, so be it.
Sad.
But this is who I am. It is. But this is real life, and this is what it is. This situation is obviously more intense than the regular routine parts of life, but at the end of the day, it still is applicable to every relationship that you could find yourself in right now. People shut down. People shut down emotionally on you. People change on you.
And people shut down emotionally for less.
For less than that. Absolutely. Absolutely. You wash my clothes in cold water, I ain't speaking to you. Seriously, like, you know what I mean? I ask you for a double mark, you bring me a big mark. That's a problem. I mean, there are people that are very petty within their relationships, and then there are really heavy issues that exist within your relationship, and people check out.
But it is like you said, like even with that, with the example that you brought, you've had men who have been molested, who have been raped in front of their wives or girlfriends. Of course, that happened mostly not here.
Yeah.
But I don't know about incident. I don't know about an incident here that's something that's happened. But I know about incidents in the U.S. where it has. And the women were saying the same thing. It's like, okay, well, it's been a while now. So yeah, you're right. Tighten up and get back to normal.
And that's how we are with other people. It's like suck it up.
It's like you for real. Like I'm still doing therapy.
But we even talked about that when it's not something of a sexual nature. Sometimes it's death. You know, where someone has lost someone close to them, their mother has passed, grandfather, grandmother, friends, children, and the other mate is like, okay, that's the cycle of life. So how long? Well, you're still alive though. That person is gone. You're still here. Are you going to act
Live
as
off.
if that
Not.
you're gone with him, or are we going to live our lives? We have to understand the human effect of things is what will kill me will only serve to make you stronger. What'll roll off my back
Let's
is
stick on
something
yours.
that is going to
The
be
question
something
is,
that
how does-
never changes.
The question is, how does someone on the other end understand that? You see what I'm saying? Because
The only way they can is if
You-
you open the door and invite them in so that they can.
no, what
Not
I
all
mean,
the time.
what I mean to say
No?
is, like Candy mentioned a few minutes ago that, let me see if I can remember what she said. I can't remember. I can't remember, seriously.
Was in reference to what?
It was your reference to the person on the other end understanding what the person, let's say, in the situation here, the guy on the other end understand what the woman is going through. Okay, this is what Candy's saying. We so worried about what other people say that we stay in situations longer than we could.
Yeah.
Oh,
You see
you
what I'm saying?
remember
So-
when she talked about him leaving and people saying how, oh, look
Right.
at what he do to her and all the rest of it.
You see what I'm saying? So how does the other person on the other end deal with that? Like, is there a particular, like, what kind of advice would you give the person on the other end?
So on the other
Like-
end, who do you put on the other end in this particular instance? Is it her or is it him?
Because that's another question.
That's another.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she
See, it all depends on your vantage point, right? Exactly.
Are you saying
but
that
here's the thing. I mean, she's obviously the victim because she was the one that was.
No, but that's what we said also.
That's the
what I'm saying.
People would
Right.
also would automatically deem her the victim
Right.
or more the victim because she was sexually assaulted. But then
And then the other
what
is,
about
or
him?
him, he may say that he was more affected because
Because-
not just did it happen that he was present, he had to watch and he was powerless to do
So,
anything.
is
And
he
they
wrong-
probably
is
taunted
he
him
wrong
as
for
well.
doing what he
He
did?
didn't play a role, and that's
Is
one
he
of the
wrong for
issues
doing
that
what he
we're
did?
trying to tap
Here's
into
the thing.
now.
That's what she's trying to
Who
say.
That's it.
How did she treat him afterwards?
And that's it.
All of these things tie into what she's saying.
So 812-1787, 431-8497 is your text and WhatsApp. I'll probably hit on some of those in a few because we've got about 15 minutes left. This is Love Jones on Global 99.5. Mike D. Candy sitting in with you. And we're discussing a story that was posted on Facebook and trying to see all of the different vantage points to those things. And it comes from a situation of gun violence, or at least the threat thereof. But I think even the most extreme situations, we can make these lessons applicable to our own lives.
Candy, let's talk about
The reason why I said that, well, what you said, I think what you said, what's such an important part, I think that's a big part of what happens in our relationships. Someone always is the victim, and the other person and what they go through in the relationship is seen as far less of an experience, and it's not respected.
right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not respected.
Because we'll see him as being the wrong person for.
But you don't know what he's been going through.
Right.
So if there's a husband and a wife, and let's say a wife loses her baby, even look at
I
that.
think we
I was just guilty of it. I didn't say they lost their baby because it was his baby just as much as it was hers. The first thing I said was her baby. Why in your mind? She carrying the baby or whatever, but that's his seed too, eh?
Yep. And
And,
he's
and he had an investment in that child and the growth of
and
that
he's-
child.
and he's excited about
And he's
the
excited
arrival
about
and
being a
everything.
fatherhood and all of that. But even from the inception of it, I already said she
Her.
lost her baby.
Right.
So you're already established in people's mind, she is the person that's going through the greater loss. And I get it.
Right.
It's living with her. She's the one feeling the kicks. I don't want anybody to think
But it's
that
not- it's
I'm
not.
lessening that experience, but you don't know how he's feeling that or what emotional impact it has had on him. But we automatically in life, someone has to be the victim and the other has to be the villain. It cannot be that we are both suffering.
No.
One has to be right and one has to be wrong. And those are the positions that we take in our relationships, and that is why they fall down. It cannot be that I'm suffering in my own way. This has impacted me in my own way, and I get the respect for what that impact and that experience is. That deserves its own level of respect.
So you're saying that in that situation, but here's the thing. Let's say you and I in that situation,
Mhm.
right? So you're gonna see yourself as a victim, as I'm gonna see myself as a victim.
Mhm.
But you're gonna see me as the villain,
and
and
vice
I'm gonna
versa.
see you as the villain.
I don't necessarily, well, sometimes it is that, but I
And that's
think
the
in that
problem.
situation there, I think she sees
So
herself
both-
as having gone through. He says, "Hey, I was there with you. You know, you didn't come back and tell me, but this, I was here. I
Her-
experienced it,
And her thing is, but I was the one that got sexually assaulted. He's gonna like.
but I couldn't do anything about
Like,
that."
I'm
I felt
trying
as
to
if
protect you,
every
but I
touch that
really
you
could-
received,
I
I
got
felt like it was me because
'Cause
I
the-
couldn't stop this dude.
the facial expressions that you.
No, I get you, but
express,
both persons
everything.
feeling as that they're a victim because
Right. Yeah.
and looking
Right.
at the other person as the villain.
Here's where the problem
Because
comes in.
We want them to understand
Our
point of
position.
view. Right.
Here's the problem. It's what he's done after now that has changed everything.
Yeah.
We get and we've explored the reasoning behind or the possibilities of why he acted the way he has, why he's done what he's done. But this is only further, and that's, I think that's something to be considered that we don't talk about. It's what you do after the fact that tends to change your status quo in the relationship. See, because even if you're looking at both of them on even keel, Boyle went through this terrible experience together, all of that. It's what he decided and the decisions that he made after the fact. Now people are going to be looking at it like that just negated all the things what you've gone through, what you chose to do after the fact. Morning. Thank you for calling into Love Jones. Speak on it.
Hey y'all,
Hello.
how you doing?
We're okay. What's good?
Hey, that's me, man.
Yeah, we know. What's happening?
Pat, you really sound like a
Yeah.
yeah, you're good.
Sound like Cleveland, Well, what to do with name Bruce? Bruce from Family Guy. Hey y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah. So look here. Yeah, I understand where all you're coming from with the whole thing that she only was feel up and all that stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
Now, dude say he sleeping with the little cutter now because homegirl ain't gonna free up, right?
Right.
He's still wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He's still wrong. So I mean, the thing is, he could have said, "Listen, I understand the whole." I mean, but then at the same time, too, he said that she was a bit sheltered and everything like that. Everybody deals with things differently.
Right.
You know, that could have been really traumatic for her. And then the thing is, he didn't say to the extent of what she was just felt up. How did they feel up? Did they like remove clothing
Exactly.
and you know, he didn't go into all
He
of
did
that.
say he couldn't go into all
He
of
said
it
he didn't want to
because
go into all it because it's
it's
still under
investigation and everything else.
But obviously,
so
the
that
way he
probably
said it,
means-
it was more
that
depth
means
than he
it's more
initially
than
said.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, so and it was just one guy or it was a couple guys?
Several. Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's still rape. Whether you use it with your penis or your fingers,
Agreed.
you still assaulted somebody. You still assaulted a female. So it's like, you know, you just thinking about your selfish desires just because she ain't want to give you no sex. Okay, then if that means really and truly you ain't love her.
No, but remember what Candy said also. Everybody copes with trauma differently. Some people,
True.
they revert to anger. Some people, they revert to sex.
Distraction.
Some people, they revert to music, art. It's just a form of distraction. So
So let me ask you something. As a man, what do you see as the best course of action in this situation if you are in a position where the option of staying and coping with is not an option? Is it better to leave that feeling with her as a sense of abandonment in my greatest time of need, or the act that he did, stay there and have your needs met elsewhere while still providing the possibility of an emotional support? Which is the better option?
He need to go because because then now, okay, here it is. She's dealing with something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens now if she comes around a little bit later and then she find out that this dude sleeping with this gal or these gals or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Then that's another emotional thing she got to deal with. And so now, obviously, she deals with things. She takes things hard. So now when she goes into another relationship, that's going to carry over. That's going to carry over. So it's best he just say, you know what, let me just walk away from this because really and truly, I need to have my sexual desires met. You're not doing it. Then it's going to show her too that, this dude ain't wait 2 pinches of wet, you know what? But, you know, and then even so when he does that, then she takes that over into another relationship and be like, okay, all dudes, I mean, again, you don't know the type of person that she is. then she might paint all dudes with the same brush. You see what I'm saying? So it's best that he just call it quits and just go elsewhere. If he wants
just
to
rip the bandage off, eh?
Yeah, just pull it off one time and just call it a day. Because that's wrong. I mean, she's really dealing with something.
I agree. Sometimes you just have to pick the lesser of the two evils. Right. And if that means leaving, at least she say, okay, he couldn't deal with it. He expressed to me that he's ill-equipped for this, and he's just going to put distance between us. I think most people would respect that more than the act that he chose to do. Even though we can understand possibly from a human perspective why, it doesn't make it right nonetheless. Agreed.
Now the next thing is, obviously by him reaching out to y'all and putting this out there, it bothers him. So now if it's bothering him that much and he really wants to work something out with this girl, then he would stop doing his foolishness and say, okay, you know what, I did this. Let me put this behind me. Let me cut this off and let me see how I could deal with this lady emotionally and everything like that until she comes around.
So in him doing that, do you think that he should now tell her, hey,
I mean, sometimes certain things you just got to keep in the closet, you know?
But you must see, get on my, because I done said I looking for a hanger for that. I looking for one storage all box with them vacuum baggage.
No, but
I looking to put that way in the back of the clothes. I'm showing you. I can build a new closet space for that.
I wasn't going to tell him either, but I just said I just asked him.
But then the thing about it is, there is still that chance that it might come out.
Yeah.
Eventually.
But based on what he said, you know, him saying that the girl who he is involved with, she understands that it's nothing sexual and da 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 da.
She can say she understands. They also start understanding until they forget to understand.
Remember, he's just one of his kind of friends, so I mean, he's not a friend who.
Until you see, because let me show you, most. Even
Gemini.
You watch your mouth over there with Gemini. I don't tell you to stop going there. Good day.
Continue.
Thank you. Let me show you how most of the time go. We can even view that for a quick second while we have a few times. Even there, because I don't want to say the word. It just sounds so dirty. So I will put a French spin on it. Everything,
I can say it.
Everything. No.
Oh.
Everything sounds a little better when you put a French spin on it. So even the cat there will tell you, yeah, man, everything cool, man. I understand that this is just a sex thing until it's no longer just a sex thing.
When it become no longer a sex thing?
When she feels so.
It always no longer.
When she feels so, or see right now, she see a door in. Okay, old girl ain't doing what she doing. I've been looking at do a little while anyhow. It's my way to get my foot in. Now I can try Bill and talk to me. What she listening to you? Yeah, to you. You want a sandwich while you here? Let me get you a tall glass. It starts to build. Yeah. And the minute you say, you know what, this was fun, but I think I can dip from this and I can try build with my girl again. I can try to see if I can make. You can do what?
The number you have to have.
Yeah, disconnected because I gone by her house to tell her what the situation is. We know it. People get emotional and they get petty, and then things become nasty.
But use the cutter, you can't let people out.
What you mean?
Cut off feelings too.
Thanks. How dare you? You don't think a pot cake hungry?
No.
Not just breed dogs want to eat?
No.
Yes.
No.
I can show you a gift that can change your mind. But anyhow, we getting off subject. The point of the matter is, when you put yourself, he's now opened the door for some other things to come in. Not the relationship was already difficult. They're already having a time trying to find each other again emotionally and try to put the pieces back in place. He's now opened the door for some other things to come and cause more problem and more strife. That's already been done. So at the end of the day, the question was what to now do. Do I try to remain in this situation and try to rebuild, try to hang with her, stay with her, hoping that it will go back to the way it was, hoping that healing will be found? Or do I simply leave the drama in the past and let it all go?
I know.
What's your opinion? If it were you in the situation, what would you do?
I different, because one like me, I can stick it out. I can try and see. I can literally. I'll try and see how we could work through it. If it's someone that I love, I'll try to see how we can work through it, and I'm gonna try.
So it's worth it.
Yeah, I think it is.
Right.
I'll try and see how long I can stick it out.
So how long is too long?
I don't know.
That's the.
That's
I think for a lot
question.
of people that's the question.
For-
Because now we're at a 7-month point.
For a lot of people, if you are really, like you always talk about being in tune, if you're in tune with the person, in all honesty, you don't even count how long it is.
Stop it.
No, brother, listen to me. Listen to me.
7 months, I think, is doable.
Mike,
7 months is doable because it's still fresh.
Yeah.
Mike,
Your son
So
is still
after a
fresh
year.
after a year, and
I
I'm
was-
still even a year. But I mean, when you talk about, it just depends on the person.
Mike, I was fighting for a relationship for almost 10 years until I finally gave up. Like, real talk. And I didn't even realize it was that long because I just kept fighting for it.
Here's the thing. I get that and I respect that because I believe in being a champion for love. But at what point,
No, I'm saying
You start to damage yourself.
right.
how much of yourself did you lose during that 10-year
Not-
period?
not-
And we
Zero.
lose so much of
Not me.
ourselves, man.
You think?
I'm telling you, that's not affected the way I love. It's not affected the way I look at people. It's not affected the way I look at that person.
That's
None
hard
of
to
it.
believe.
It hasn't.
That you could be in love with
Let me
someone
tell
for
you,
10 years and fight for that
every single relationship I've been in
has impacted you in some way.
impacted me.
It has.
In
I
even
said
just
it hasn't impacted
relationships-
me. She said hasn't changed me. It has
No,
not.
it impacted, changed, same thing. It has.
Okay, but
you know,
it hasn't- it
for
hasn't-
the best, for the worst, it has.
Let me
You
say
see what
this.
I'm saying?
Of course, like I think she said in the group, every situation, every relationship you encounter has some effect on you, whether negative or positive.
Absolutely.
But it's not had that much of a negative effect on me that it has muddied or murky my view of love and what love is. And it's not going to, because I feel as though, like I say, I can't remember who it was. I think Francie said something about if the person, I mean, it was, I think Netta, she said, the person may not be perfect, but you can find a person with the perfect heart for you or something along those lines. I view everything as a learning experience now. So every time I go into a situation, I just learn from it. At the end of the day, I don't feel as though you should give up on love, because at the end of the day, if you do that, then what exactly do you have?
I don't think anybody ever wants to give up on love, D. You know, but there comes a time, like I said, we're looking at this because it's a situation where guns and all of those things. I think it's to the more serious end of the spectrum, right? And I don't think anybody ever wants to give up on love, but I think we all get to a place where you continue to invest, you continue to pour in, you give of yourself. Sometimes you need a payoff. And that may sound bad, but it is what it is.
Because
No
that's
one-
what love is. But at the same time, we're human beings.
Yeah, but why do you love? A lot of times you love for the feeling that it gives you, for the return. And it may sound selfish, but it's not. Anything that we do for, you go to work for a return. Even if you love your job, you still gonna need that little coin to live.
And if they didn't give you, you can start your own business because you need that money.
Because I can
to
still
do
need
what
money
you do.
to do what I do. You love your children and you do for them because they are your children, but your return is seeing them live a fruitful life and be successful. That's your return. You love your mate because you want to be loved back, and you don't want to love them in a way where you're only getting 15% for your 110. Nobody wants to be that way. You want to understand, you want to be patient, as he has, as any of us do. But at what point do I continue to give when it's clear that you do not want to return? You have to want to, and I have to feel like you want to. Because at the place where I feel like you don't want to, then you make me no longer want to. Now, what the decision that you make after that, that's on you. He made an ill decision. I think the more humane thing would have been, look, I get it. A lot of people are going to see me as the grandest a-hole, but I'm not fit to deal with what you're going through. And I'm sorry. It's not because I don't love you and because I don't want to. I don't have it in me to give it to you. Not to say I won't have it later, but I don't have it now. And I don't want to hinder your process by doing the stupid things that I may do so I can leave you.
Makes sense.
Now, how she received that,
Yes.
she probably gonna be hurt, but that's for her to deal with. But it's far worse than to her now find out going through the things that she is,
And you also cheated.
that you also have now compounded on that by adding infidelity to the trauma that exists. That's crappy, man. And that's foul. And you couldn't have done anything when the guns were in your face, but you could do something now, and look what you decided to do. That's foul. I'm not saying that she's wrong, she's right for withdrawing. He going through his own things, and he needs her to be a support system as well. But you don't help by adding the cutter to the mix. That just kind of off-lifted everything I said, but sorry, I just had to put it there. I was doing so well, and then you said cutter, and it just right out the window.
Like, okay, there it is.
Okay, well, secret lover, whatever, however we want to put it, at the end of the day, is someone that you having sex with on the side. You're wrong, and that's the end of that story. I understand both positions. Neither person is right. No one is more right than the other, but the actions that were done after, that puts a whole new spin on it. So that's it for us. But at the end of the day, the questions that arise from this story is how much to invest, at what point do you stop? When you start losing yourself for the love of someone else, you're getting to a different place. And everyone loves with the hope of an investment being returned to what it is that they give. That's the long and the short of that right there. So that's it for us. We're gone. Continue to weigh in on this. 431-8497. Now, someone who wanted to weigh in live. What happened, Solid? You got something you want to weigh in over there? Say what you want to say. What do you want to say?
We going.
Why they petty on a Monday? We gone, man. Watch the vid later on Facebook. Weigh in. Be a Facebook friend on the Love Jones Crew page. And like I said, you can email us with your stories as well as Very Cool Candy at yahoolovejonescrew@gmail. We're gone, but the Midday Flex continues right here on The Real Sound. We've got the best mix of R&B music. We are definitely Global 99.5. He teeps the thunder, but go ahead.
Something, say it. Tell you guys all it. We going.